Hey everyone, Christopher here, and welcome back to another episode of Fossil Forward Finds. Today we have our May update. It's currently June 4th, so when I show you the listing numbers are going to be a little skewed higher because I've had a few days of June that I've been listing. And when we look at the sales tracking data, it's going to be a little skewed downwards because I haven't actually put in the June data yet, but it's still going based off the current date. It doesn't change much. But anyways, shall we dive into it? So to start, we're going to look at my listing data. So as I mentioned in the previous summary video, uh, I somewhat arbitrarily chose 35 listings a day would be my goal. Last year was 30, but I didn't really have the same level of tracking that I do now. I did not have the spreadsheet. So I honestly don't know if I actually hit that goal. So I may have, jumped the gun, as it were. But as of June 4th, my average for the year is 24.3 listings a day. So definitely less than that 35, but not too bad. Um, my monthly goal is 1,065, and I'm at 628.8. So again, not too bad. I'm not upset with that number of listings. Um, that's more than a lot of stores. But then again, I am doing lower cost items. So at the moment, I'm at 3,733 for the year. Um, and then this other column here, we're just looking at quantity. So sometimes I list items that I have more than one of. So that bumps up my values a little bit. So currently averaging 30 a day based on quantity and 894.2 for monthly, and then 4,471 for the year. So you can see that gets me in the yellow. So, a little closer to the goal, but still not quite there. All right. So taking a look at the breakdown, I started off slow at the beginning of May. First 2 days, I didn't have any listings, and I sort of ended a little slow. I was on vacation for 3-4 days at the end of May, so that's why. Um, but as I said, 655 for the month. So I was 430 short. Not surprising. Postcards make up the most of it. Um, Pogs not far behind. Well, actually, quite a bit far behind, but Pogs in second, and then trade cards and swap cards third. Um, Same idea with quantity there. Um, uh, I don't know exactly what the split is, but I'd say maybe a third of the days I reached my goal. Um, so always room for improvement. So if we break that down a little further, so I have May highlighted in green just so it's a little easier to see. Um, so 394 postcards total for the month, 102 on Pogs, 61 on trade cards. So we already sort of saw that. But what it comes down to is 60% of the listings I put up last month were postcards. Let's see, Pogs were 15.6%, and trade cards and swap cards 9.3%. And that sort of falls on what I'm doing for the year. So for the year at the moment, 67% are postcards, and 18% trade and swap. So right. So the part that you guys probably find more interesting is how do the sales numbers break down. So I set a again somewhat arbitrary goal of $25,000 gross sales. Unless a miracle happens, I am not getting anywhere near that, but it's a goal. Assuming I had $7 average asking price, or average sale price rather, um, this top section breaks down what I would need to do daily, monthly, and so forth. So I would need to do about 10 sales a day on average, and then um, that comes out to be about $68, around 68.50 a day gross, 48 weekly, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can read that. Um, as of June 4th, again, this doesn't have any of the June data in it, but it's still doing its calculations based on it being the 155th day of the year. So it really only changes things like by $1 or $2. But so as of the moment, I'm doing roughly $39 a day. So I still, still got a ways to go, another $30 or so. Um, but I don't think it's impossible. I just got to keep getting those listings up, quantity, as well as continuing to add better quality postcards and ephemera and so forth. Get a good variety up there. Um, and so, of course, I'm down about 200 weekly and so forth. On the other hand, my average sale price is above what I expected by $1, so that's good. Hopefully, I can keep pushing that number up, and that'll drive the number of sales, etc., that I need to hit my goals down lower. Uh, let's see. All right, so if we're going to take a quick look at May here, let's see if I can zoom this in a little better. So I think the most important thing for me, anyways, looking at May is I've had no 0 days. Now, I've only had one day in May that I actually beat the 10 items sold. I got a few yellows, so I got a few extra days were close. This day that I had the 31 sales, that was the day that I sold a crap ton of swap cards to one person. It was back in a previous What Sold video. You should definitely go and check those out if you haven't already, because then you get a better idea of what I'm actually selling, not just the raw numbers. But as you can see, postcards, I sold postcards every day, and then the other categories have sort of just trickled in. So a total of 108 postcards sold in the month of May, 32 trade cards of swap cards, and then again a few others trickled out. So 152 total sales for the month, coming out to being just about 5 sales per day, so half of what I need to be doing. And then if we look at it by the money, a little bit better. I had, even though I didn't reach my number of sales per day, I did exceed my gross dollar amount a few times. So that's pretty good there. And again, you can see postcards sold every day. So total, I did $1,156 gross for the month of May, with most of that coming from the postcards at $846 and $201 from the trade and swap cards. Let's see. And then sort of finish us off here. Again, all this data, the green is the month of May. So this is sort of what we just looked at, the breakdown of number of sales. Postcards end up coming to be 71% of my sales for the month of May, with the trade and swap cards in at 21%. For the year so far, postcards at the 77.7%. But you can see that trade and swap cards, while they're my second highest sale category, it's significantly less on the annual scale. Just a breakdown by the dollar amounts, as we said, $846.38 for the postcards, up to $4,745 for the year. It comes out to be 73% of my sales, so about the same. And the trade cards make up the 17%. And then just more or less like the number of sales data, which makes fairly good sense. The postcards came up with 78.6% of my sales, dollar-wise, annually so far. I hope your sales in May were pretty good. I hope they get even better in June. And let me know what else you might want to hear behind the scenes, breakdown-wise. Are these videos at all interesting? I know numbers can be kind of dry to present. But anyways, thanks for watching if you made it this far. We'll catch you on the next one.